It is now time to attach the belt loop to the back of the main part. So I will locate the two marks we put in there, and I'm going to take I'm using a stencil knife, and I'm going to rough up the surface here just above those two marks, about a little more than an 1/8 inch wide. And then I will take some permanent contact cement, put a line of glue on the area that I just scratched. And I also put a line of glue on the one end of the belt loop piece. And now we'll just let this dry until it gets tacky. Now that my cement has dried until it's tacky, I can position this right on the two marks that we made, and I'm doing it grain side to grain side. We will be folding it back after we stitch it. So now we will take a thonging chisel and with our wing divider we can put a line on here about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and with the thonging chisel we'll punch all the way through both thicknesses of leather. Now we will use the 2-needle method and about 1 yard of wax linen thread to stitch this in place. Now I will do the same thing to this lower set of holes. I will scratch a line about 1/8 of an inch wide to rough up the surface so that the cement will stick better. Now I have applied cement to this line and to the back of the belt loop. Now I can fold it over and stick it in place. Now I'll take my wing divider, scribe a line, punch it, and stitch it just like above. And this is how your belt loop looks after it has been stitched in place. I have decided to add some steampunk style conchos to my bag, so I've placed them where I'd like to have them, and with my thumb I'm putting some pressure down, making a mark, and this is where I will punch my holes. And with the proper size punch, I will punch my holes for the conchos. And now it's just a matter of attaching them with the screw. Next, we will attach the lock-type clasp to our bag. I'll attach the main part to the flap, as you can see, with a medium antique brass rivet. Put the post of the rivet through the holes, set the clasp in place, put the caps on, and set with the rivet setter. For the other part, it's just a matter of, once again, putting the rivets through, set the clasp in place, and you can do all three at once, or you can do them one at a time. In this case, I prefer to do them one at a time. And our clasp is in place, ready to use. Now we are ready for our final assembly. We will apply permanent contact cement now to the about 1/4 inch of the edge of the front piece. And we will do the same thing to one side of the gusset. And after we have applied this to the two pieces, we'll set it aside until it dries until it's tacky. Now that our cement has become tacky, it's time to stick the pieces together. Remember the little marks we made? Now we'll start that exactly on that mark, and we will carefully now line up the edges of the gusset and the edge of the piece, making sure that everything is flush on these edges. And then, as we did before, we can take our modeling tool and press it down tight. Now that we have our gusset cemented in place, it's time to get ready for stitching. And I'll use my stitching awl, and we will push this through at about a 45-degree angle, keeping it consistent all the way around. And now, with the 2-needle method, we will stitch all the way around the outer edge of the front. We will now assemble the back and the flap to the assembly we've already made, and you'll notice I have my little mark there, and I will line that up with the mark on my back. And now we will cement this in place just like we did with the front. And then we will stitch it through, and just like we did the front part. Now that we have completed our stitching of the front and the back, we can now finish our edges. If you recall earlier, we used the edge beveler on the top side where we were going to join the gusset, but we did not do the bottom side. Actually, there was no bottom side at that time, but now that we have everything stitched, we can take our edge beveler and edge bevel around the inside where the gusset is fastened. And we'll do that all the way around where the back is fastened and the front. After I have done the edge beveling, I'll take some fine sandpaper and I will sand the edge all the way around where we joined the gusset to the other parts. This is done mainly to eliminate any glue that may have squeezed out over the edge, and also to get a smoother edge that we can then slick. After we have sanded the edges, then we can dampen them with a sponge and slick them down with our wooden edge slicker. Our final step is to apply the edge dressing of your choice all around all of the exposed edges in our project.